Guys, I promise you I'm going to give you some kind of like cool video of me talking with graphics on it and stuff later, but this is just a kind of boring screencast that I want to kind of do to review the ideas about the thesis statement that I tried to introduce to you yesterday with this worksheet. Before I look at this worksheet though, check out my new desktop background. What does it say? Carry the fire. That's right. Hope you see my reminders on there to carry the fire as we go through this semi-apocalyptic time in our lives. Remember to be kind to each other out there. All right, let's go ahead and put this file here into full screen. What do you say? There we go. All right. Well, we're talking about the thesis statement. Now, a lot of you have written a lot of thesis statements, so you know what they are. But just as a review, this is the main argument of your paper. It's the full response to the prompt. It's what you're going to be supporting with all your evidence. You want it to be nicely written and clear. I'm going to be always looking back to your thesis to make sure everything you're writing about is supporting it. So you want to make sure I understand what the heck you're talking about. I'd like to share with you, just as a review, two things I like to focus on these days when I'm teaching thesis statements. And it's this important fact here. In literary analysis, the thesis should contain two components. So there's two things you want to make sure that are in there. One is the techniques you're analyzing. So this would be like if you're writing about symbol or if you're writing about characterization. What is it that you're looking at in the text? But then I always think that it needs to have some reason why we're looking at this. So if we'll see in the sample thesis statement that you got on the second page, we had that Great Gatsby thesis statement where it just said that Fitzgerald used symbols, but it didn't tell us why we cared about that. That's where number two comes in. You have to have some reason why you're analyzing those things. And a lot of times it's because whatever you're analyzing is helping to show a message or a theme. That's why so many of your Costa essays have theme as part of the prompt. I sometimes call this an ultimate effect, just meaning like, okay, what's the effect of having these things in the book that this person used? Why are there symbols? What does it do? But the easiest way is because it shows some message. That's why we usually have it as a thematic statement. So that's a good thing to remember. So we had this, I had some examples down here, but I wanted to show you, go through you real quick, these 10 on the back that I said would be strong or weak. So let's take a look at those. All right. Oedipus the King. I think that's how you pronounce this. Oedipus. You guys have read it. Sometimes if you want to do the Greek, it's Oedipus Rex. But Oedipus the King was a play about the role of fate in people's lives. You know what this one was? Do you want to know? This one was weak. That's right. Pretty lame. Why? Well, it's got something about fate. This is a thematic topic. That's good, but we don't know what it's saying about it. It says it's a play about the role of fate in people's lives. Well, what role does fate have in people's lives? Is fate inescapable? Is fate just a construct of society? What about the play is helping to show this role of fate in people's lives? So this is all just too vague and not enough there. So this one was weak. You could even call it, if you want to be harsh, you could call it trash. There you go. Let's look at number two. In To Build a Fire, Jack London uses setting as an antagonist to show that man is dominated and destroyed by his environment. I thought this one was okay, pretty good. You could call it weak, strong. Some people like to call it stoic. That kind of looks like stoic. Anyway, what's good about it? Well, let's talk about what's not so good about it. I'll just leave that there. What setting does he use? This is just vague here. Uses setting. What setting? The frosty tundra of the Yukon? That would be good. What's good about it, though? Well, I think it's got a pretty good theme. Man is dominated and destroyed by his environment. And also, this idea of using setting as an antagonist is kind of interesting to me because antagonists are usually characters. Usually characters are antagonists. This means like the person going against the main character. So for setting to be some kind of character, that's interesting to me. So it had some good points. It's not bad. Let's look at this one. Puritan literature reflected their fears and intolerances. Well, you know what? I fear that this is trash. Weak. Why? Well, it's not telling us anything specific about the literature or how it's reflecting their fears and intolerances. I could see how this could be a little bit of the seed of what you wanted to write about. I want to write about Puritan literature and how it shows their fears and intolerances. I'd be like, great, what's your thesis about it? That was it. I go, trash. Not enough detail here. Look at this one. Catcher in the Rye is an excellent novel that makes adolescents think. This one is super. It's strong. I'm just kidding. The first two letters are right. What is it? It sucks. That's right. There's nothing good about it. Everything makes adolescents think. Watch this. That probably just made you think. So it's not saying anything. It's very vague. All right. Let's look at number 5. In The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, Mark Twain satirizes the artificiality of romantic literature through the characters of Tom Sawyer, Emmeline Grangerford, and the Duke and the King to emphasize the dangers of idealizing honor. I think this one is strong. I like it. I like it. Talks about he's using satire. What's he satirizing? Romantic literature through these characters. It's pretty complex. And it emphasizes the dangers of idealizing honor. This is pretty much a theme, saying that idealizing honor is dangerous. Either way, it's definitely an ultimate effect. Why are they doing this? Or Twain's doing this to emphasize this idea. So I like this one. Let's look at number 6. Dashiell Hammett portrays Sam Spade in The Maltese Falcon as an anti-hero whose ambiguous actions are difficult to pinpoint as either heroic or villainous in order to demonstrate man's enduring conflict between good and evil. I thought this one was strong. I liked it. I know. Here's what I like about it. Man's enduring conflict between good and evil. Like, we're always either good or evil. Kind of seems to make sense with how we can't tell if he's heroic or villainous, which is pretty much what an anti-hero is. So I know you probably haven't read The Maltese Falcon, but either way, the whole thing kind of flows together and makes sense. It's not some weird thing at the beginning of the thesis that connects to some unrelated themes. It all seems to logically make sense. So I like this one. Let's look at this one. In The Lord of the Flies, Ralph is a carefree young boy who eventually loses his innocence. This one is trash, but easily fixable trash. How do you fix it? Well, this is talking about character change, which is pretty good. It's the number one thing of the thesis I said. We know what technique is being analyzed, but what's missing? That ultimate effect or theme. All we have to do is add it. Let's see. Ralph is a carefree young boy who eventually loses his innocence, which shows that all people will lose their, let's see, I'm going to say innocence, but that would sound crappy. Let's say, let's just say it, lose their innocence when confronted with the truth, or wait, the true evil of humanity. I don't know. It needs some work. You don't want to have lose their innocence and loses his innocence, but it's a lot better now. We can do this a lot better now. All right, 8. The role of deception in the story of Mulholland Drive is reflected through the setting of Mulholland Drive in the way its constant curves reflect the deceptive behavior of the characters, aid in the delivery of the revealed secret plot twists, and serve as the backbone of the twisted city of Los Angeles. This one is hard to read. Not bad as far as content. It's just, man, it's a twisting, deceptive road just to read this sucker. So it needs a little bit of work. It's got a lot of good stuff in there about way that the setting somehow connects to the thematic topic of deception, but it just needs to be tinkered with a little bit. Let's look at 9. The behavior of the characters in the contrasting settings of the public arena of the Verona streets and the private sphere of Juliet's balcony demonstrates how love can only be fully expressed and cultivated in personal spaces, protected from the brutality of the collective human race. It's pretty complex, its ideas here. You probably have to read this one more than once, but guess what? I think it's strong. I think it's pretty interesting. So I like this one. I think that it works well talking about the public and private sphere and then having a theme about how love is cultivated in personal rather than public places. So I like it. Let's look at this last one. We're almost done. In The Great Gatsby, Fitzgerald uses the symbols of the green light, West Egg, and Gatsby's clothes. Great. Good job, Fitzgerald. Why do we care, though? This is another example where we don't have the number 2 part, which allows him to convey the theme that, what are we doing? We're dealing with dreams, wealth, that the dreams of wealth tend to disappoint. That's a terrible theme, but it kind of makes, you kind of know what I'm saying, right? What are we going to say? That a lot of people say that the American dream is a lie based on crude materialism. Let's do that one. That one's seems like it has some attitude. All right, better now. Okay. All right, now, guys, what are you gonna do now? The screencast is almost over. Here's what I want you to work on. Work on your essay outline. Tomorrow I'm going to ask you guys to type up your intro paragraph, and I'll go over that. But you need to have most of your essay outline done by then, because we're going to be jumping in actually writing your post-apocalyptic essay. All right, if you guys have any questions, make sure you email me, and I will respond to you. But for right now, work on your essay outline, and don't forget to do your daily check-in before 3 p.m. All right, guys, that is it. How do I exit out of this thing and stop the video? I'm going to do it right now. Bye.